Be here. I want to thank you for this given opportunity, and I'm really nervous, so please excuse me if something goes wrong. That's a very unique experience of its kind for me. So I'm here to tell you my story today, my story about interacting with Peace Corps and how it went along for me along all of these years. So I think that in order to rise to greatness, people must be supported and helped to discover the greatness that's already inside them. And when you feel encouraged and you're walking on the right path, there is nothing that can stop you from growing. I feel lucky that I met Peace Corps volunteers at the time that I started to personally develop. So these interactions helped me to open my mind and to develop my communicational skills. Actually, I was challenged to become a volunteer, a thing that was uncommon 6 years ago for Moldovans, by a former Peace Corps volunteer who was Peter Myers. And as I look back now, I understand how important it is to have the right team by your side when you are a fresh volunteer, because thanks to him, I enrolled in Winrock Moldova's volunteer team, where I met great people who influenced me. Winrock Moldova is actually a non-profit organization that works for improving the life of youth in Moldova by, first of all, developing entrepreneurship skills, then by supporting business entrepreneurs in their startup or in their extension, as well as alleviating domestic violence and abuse for new community efforts. I consider my relationship with Peace Corps and in general our relationship to be very important parts of my life. And since this relationship first began until today, everything has changed in a way that I could have never imagined 6 years ago. Knowing Peace Corps volunteers changed first of all my personality, then my thoughts, and even my personal life. Now I am using the experience that I gained to begin the process of changing other people's lives. And thanks to all these years I have been involved with Winrock and all of the support I have received, I finally understand what I want to do in future. And this is a classical example how a small effort by one caring person early in your life can trigger big changes later in your future. Throughout these past 6 years of working with Peace Corps, I never ceased to be amazed by their enthusiasm and will to change something in Moldova, even if they come from so far away. And this energy of Peace Corps volunteers made me think that I must double my efforts to do something for Moldovans, especially for youth. And my collaboration with Peter continues till today. So we're working on a project that is called Education Moldova, which was started this year. And in this project, we have given a chance to a student from Mereșeni to continue her studies at the police academy, which was her dream, but that needed financial support. And while my work with Peter has been life-changing both for myself and for others, I now would like to share with you the story of how former Peace Corps volunteers introduced me to the best sport in the world, and that's ultimate frisbee. And that's the best team in Moldova, who's called Flying Mamalingas. I discovered, first of all, ultimate frisbee thanks to former Winrock Moldova director David Blood, and all of our early trainings and tournaments were supported by Peace Corps volunteers who consistently provided their knowledge on the matter and encouraged us to create a team. We were extremely happy to share, of course, our first victories and first defeats with them. And although it has been a long time since we had a Peace Corps volunteer in our team, we're so eager to play the so-called Moldovans versus Peace Corps games, which are always fun and interactive. Yes. I consider this sport to be... I consider this sport to be important for Moldovans at least for 2 reasons. First of all, ultimate frisbee is not an aggressive sport, and the notion of spirit of the game is something that Moldovans must definitely learn. Ultimate is first of all about the pleasure you receive while playing with your opponent, and it's about how honest you are first of all with yourself and then with your team. And first of all, and the most important for me, I call ultimate frisbee a gender equality sport. And unlike other sports in our country, men and women can compete here side by side in the same team. Our last great accomplishment was made this year on June 26, when ultimate frisbee was officially recognized by the Moldovan Ministry of Youth and Sports. So yes. This is from our last tournament. Also, I want to share with you the influence on group cohesion and a group working enthusiasm which Peace Corps volunteers have. We have had Peace Corps volunteers joining the Moldovan Volunteers Group or the Counselors Group at the Summer School of Leadership. And whenever a Peace Corps volunteer showed interest and enthusiasm to work with Moldovans on various tasks or participated in activities and was an active member of a team, Moldovan volunteers were more encouraged and more active. And this work as a team brought great results and inspired for future initiatives. But unfortunately, I have witnessed cases where Peace Corps volunteers were not very cooperative and were unwilling to offer their time and energy to the commitments they previously agreed upon. So this influenced the attitude of the rest of our Moldovan volunteers, actually decreasing their initiative and energy levels. And that is why I want to emphasize that for many young Moldovans, you Peace Corps volunteers are important role models. And depending on what type of character or work ethic you practice, you can trigger a Moldovan's positive growth or enhance their weaknesses. Therefore, I ask of you, never stop sharing your ideas, never stop sharing your emotions and impressions with Moldovans during your service. You will have a great impact on other people's lives and attitude, whether you can say it or not. Actually, I want you to involve Moldovans in every project you want to start and develop here, even though at the beginning Moldovans may seem uninterested and reluctant. So speak about the way you as people are faced with the same problems that we have to deal here on a daily basis, and how small solutions that have been successful in the United States can be implemented here. I want to thank, first of all Peace Corps volunteers and members of the staff that I have met along the way, and many more I'm sure I'll meet in my future. We learned a lot from you, and you helped us to develop in many ways. And the most important way for me is that you helped us to capture our creativity, a skill that many Moldovans has lost along the way, a capacity that can help you so much at school, at work, in your family, but one we were not really taught how to develop. So your role is to be a wake-up call to the creativity that is hidden somewhere deep inside us, that will help us overcome our problems, think proactively, and search for solutions. I want to thank all of the Peace Corps staff here present that invited me to be a storyteller. I want to thank my friends, my volunteers who are here to support me today, and I want to thank you all for listening to me.
Olga told me I couldn't do this, so I'm going to anyway. Can you go back to the second picture?